I am on page 115 in the exercise book, and we're looking at problem 8. Mike earns $200 for every 100 correct data entries, and Jake's earnings are represented by the graph below. So you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to find the unit rate for each man. So Mike earns $200. That's going to be the dependent variable, and that depends on his correct data entries. So dollars to entries, and if we reduce that down to unit rate, that means he earns $2 for every correct entry. So his equation will be Mike is $2 per entry. And then Jake, I'm going to look at the graph, and I see that he gets $50 for 50 correct entries. So that's $50 over 50 entries. And if you reduce that down to $1 per entry. So Jake's equation will be Jake equals $1 per entry. And that looks like LE. That's a 1. Okay, so here's the question. Which statement is true? Jake earns $2 for every correct data entry. That statement is false because we just found that he earns $1 for every correct entry. Mike earns more money for each correct entry than Jake. So Mike earns more than Jake. Mike is 2 and Jake is 1. That is a true statement. But I've learned my lesson. Mike and Jake's total earnings are equal for 100 correct data entries. Well, if their unit rates are not equal, their total earnings would not be equal. But let's just see. Let's put it in and see. So Mike earns $2 for a correct entry, and we're going to make that be 100. And Jake earns $1 for each entry. So 200 equals 100? No, this is a false statement. Jake earns twice as much as Mike for the same amount of data entries. Well, remember, Mike earns $2. Let me do it this way. This is saying that Jake earns more than Mike. Jake earns $1 when Mike earns 2. That is a false statement. Mike earns $1 for every correct data entry. No, Jake earns $1. Mike earns $2. So the only true statement in this set is B. And let me check this page. Number 7 is B and number 8 is B. And this page is finished.